How to set up a Shopify store. So in this video, I want to break down how you could go ahead and set up your Shopify store for success. My name is Daniel, and I used to work at Shopify as a support advisor where I help literally thousands of Shopify store owners with their stores. All right, let's start. So we're gonna breaking this video down in parts. So let's start with the first part, and that is, if you haven't done so, is sign up for your store. So if you haven't signed up, you could click the link in description that says start your store, right? And you could click the link and it will look something like this, right? So once you create your account, right, you'll be able to skip this, right? If you want to just use the free trial just to see if this is something you want to use, right? Just skip. So you don't have to do this, right? I just do skip customization, right? We just want to start building the store and not waste any time. All right, so this is what you're going to see the very first time when you create your store if you haven't done so already. All right, so now that we have our store and account created, right, when you click the link below, the next thing we're gonna do is select a theme, right? So we're gonna go to online stores. So in online stores, Shopify has over, I think, 20 free themes they could download and use for free, right? So by default, the Horizon theme is the one that Shopify provides you. You could also design your own store in seconds with AI as well, or you could choose popular themes. Just go to visit the theme store, and then from here you could just click free. So yeah, they have about 24 free themes. If you want to look at the paid, then you could just click check and see what are some cool paid themes that are out there as well. But yeah, if you're just getting started, just go for the free themes. These are amazing, right? And they look really, really cool as well. So yeah, it's something to take into account when you're setting up your online store. All right, so now that we have this, right, and what's awesome too, before I forget, is that you can actually try all these free themes and see which one you like, right? So like you could click on Tinker, right? And you can also so if you already have products added, right, you'll be able to quickly preview the theme. But let's say you want to see how it looks, you can also just click on the theme, right? So we could just click here, click free, and then let's say, for example, we want to check out heritage. You can also see and view demo right here. And there you go. You can now play around with it and just start to explore if this theme might be something you want to start using in your own Shopify store. So yeah, one of my favorite features right there. And then also they have like more information, right, and what's included as well in each theme. So yeah, something to take into account before you you could just try different themes and just see which one you like and which one you don't like. So once you have selected your theme, right, so I already selected my theme, which is the Tinker one, right, it will be just added, right? This one's still published right here. As long as I don't click publish, this theme will not go live, right? So that means I can preview it, I can edit, I can do whatever I want, any changes without affecting the main theme, right? Only once I click publish would this replace Horizon. All right, so now to customize the theme, right, to make it your own. So let's say Tinker is the theme you want to go with, right? Just click on edit theme. So inside that edit theme, you'll be welcome to the editor, and here is where you'll be able to make all of the changes to your store, right, and how it looks as well, right? So first off, you'll be able to upload images, right? If you don't have any images, no worries, Shopify has that covered. You can exploit free images, right? So for example, let's say we're doing I guess a coffee shop, like selling coffee, right? So we can look at adding maybe this one here, and there you go, right? It looks really nice, right? And then you could customize the text by just clicking the text here and then just changing the text on the top right here. So yeah, you could just play around with it, right? If you need to add sections, right, just click on the plus section here, add sections, and you'll be able to find different cool little sections for your store, which I really like, and it's just really easy to use. And let's say you download a third-party app, just click on apps, and you'll be able to find it right here as well. So, and also you can use the AI if you want, right? You could tell it what you want, right? Oops. Let's try to, there we go. So they changed it. So now you could describe it to Sidekick, and Sidekick will literally create that section for you within the editor, right? So something to take into account is to use AI, because it's actually really, really good. I used this a lot when I was helping Shopify store merchants, right, with their store, and it works, right? So yeah, it's just have fun, play around with it. So yeah. The next thing we're going to need to do now is finally add products to your Shopify store. So to do that, let's just say I saved it, right? Like I like this picture, so we're going to go back. Okay, so now you're going to click on products on the top left here. And now we get to add our very first product, right? So you can just click on add product, and you can just start, select existing, right? We could just use this product for now. We'll just do coffee mug, I guess. Coffee mug, right? And oh wait, no, what? So for the title, so before I go really simple, you don't want to write coffee mug, that's it, right? You want to say like we'll just say, you know, hi. Of course, for you it's going to be like the name of the coffee mug or something, like, you know, what's this name here? It doesn't show. Okay, it's not a coffee mug, it's like a coffee maker, right? So like we just say high quality coffee. Let's pretend like the company name is called like high quality Jim's coffee, Jim's high quality coffee maker. Yeah, high quality coffee maker, right? Let's pretend that it's a coffee maker, not a mug, right? So you want to, in your title, you don't want to just write coffee maker, right? You want to write like the name of the product. Like if it's called, let's say we're selling, let's say we were Apple, right? We will write like iPhone 14 Pro, right? You know, you don't just want to write iPhone, that's it, right? You want to make it really detailed, the title, right? Description, you could do something simple, right? You can use AI, and then you can make some changes. There you go. I mean, it looks pretty good, right? It's not, it looks pretty good. So if you want, you could keep it, right? You can add images as well here by clicking on insert image. And we'll just, again, we'll pretend that we have different images here, and it'll show up when you scroll. There you go. So when you scroll down, there we go. You could just play around with this. So you can play around with the editor here, right? Make something bold, and just, yeah, just have fun with it as well. And then when we're going down, right, you could do the category as well. And then here you want to add the price. Let's pretend that this is a high quality coffee maker, right? You could do a lot more, compare a price. So let's say our original is 150, but it's on sale for 120 now, right? Unit price, done, 111. And then here is very important. Here you have this option to continue selling when out of stock, right? Some merchants left it on, some merchants leave it off, right? It all depends on you. So the best practice is to have it off, right? You don't want to, because imagine like you start selling, but then you have some issues, you know, in the logistics parts of it. So yeah, you just want to have this off, right? You have the shop location here, like, you know, maybe you have only 15. So this is just to track, right? So every time it sells, it would change. And then you want to make sure you have the correct shipping set up here. So why is this very important? So I had an issue where a Shopify store owner reached out where they were doing testing before they launched a new product, and they were selling this hat, right? And whenever we would check out the hat at checkout, right, the shipping will be like $35, right, for something so light and small, right? And the issue was that they chose the wrong package, right? So they were like, the product weighed like 10 pounds. It was for a different product. So you want to make sure that you have the product weight set up properly and the right package that you're going to be using when you're selling that product as well. So yeah, it's just something to take into account right here. And then your variants, right? If you have different colors, we don't have that, so we're just gonna leave it as is, right? Like this. And then here, if you want, you can also do search engine listing. So this is very important, right? So you want to have like, the page title is the product title. You could change it here. And then of course the meta description is just description. So you can just leave it as is, since Shopify already does it. But if you don't have this set up, highly recommend you have this set up properly, just like this. Here's a great example. And then right here, of course, we have the tags. You can add a tag. If I can just there we go. So if you sell, let's say you sell, like, I'm a coffee shop, so there's like coffee beans, coffee makers, right? Let's say I want to do coffee makers, and there you go. You won't be able to edit the tag. I'm not sure why Shopify does not still have that feature, but yeah, you cannot edit. You'll have to create another tag if you want. You can add it to a collection, so a collection just makes it easy. So if you have like 3 different coffee makers, then you might want to have a collection of coffee makers as well. The vendor, if there's like Jim's high quality coffee maker, maybe you have a vendor just called Jim's, right? Jim's coffee maker or something. The type, right? And then really important, many Shopify store owners, they would not have this turned on, right? So they will have this off, right? I'll have this one off because I don't need this, but you want to have this on, or else you cannot, customers cannot find it in your store. And then just make sure the status is active and save. And there you go. You just added your very first product to your Shopify store. Cool. So now we're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna set up important business information, right? So for that, we're gonna go to settings. So on the bottom left here, and then settings is where you're going to find all the important information, right? So here's where you're going to find billing. Here's where you're going to find your plan, your users, your payments, right? So one of the first things you're going to want to do, right, is to start accepting payments. You're going to want to set up Shopify payments if it's supported in your country, right? If it's not supported in your country, you can use something like Stripe payments or a different payment gateway. But let's say Shopify payments is supported in your location, then you will need to use Shopify payments. Like I live in Canada, and let's say I want to use my own Stripe, I won't be able. I have to use Shopify payments. Only if like I was suspended from Shopify payments, well then I'd be able to use my own Stripe account. Or if you don't want to use Shopify payments, you have the option of using PayPal or other payment methods as well, that are supported in your country. So something to take into account right here is always set up Shopify payments. Really easy to start with and set it up with. So now that we have that, we're going to need to go into our shipping rates, right? Another thing that you're going to want to do is set up your shipping rates. So you just go to shipping rates right here, and then you're going to click right here, general profile, and here is where you'll be able to set up your shipping rates for your locations. All right, so if so let's say I was just shipping in Canada, then this will work, something simple like this, right? But let's say I want to sell to the US, right? So to sell to the US, you can see here there's a warning message that I need to include it into my market. So to do that, you can click on market, and it will take you to the market page. There we go. And as you can see here, I don't have the US included, but I could just click right here and it will start to include it, right? And I could just save it and make the changes after. And so now it's active, right? Of course, if I was selling in Canada, right, I would make sure that everything is set up properly, right? That I'm collecting tax, I will need to collect taxes, right? That the right store is being used. So right now by default it's Horizon, right? The products is all products for now, right? If I had a catalog, then I will select the catalog right here. Same goes for about selling in the US, right? If you're collecting taxes, then you want to set this up properly, right? But now, if I go back to settings into shipping rate, shipping and delivery, you can see the warning message is gone, right? Because now I have the option to sell to the US since I have the market set up, right? Now for your taxes, highly recommend you reach out to your accountant or a tax professional for that, right? You do not want to reach out to Shopify support because they will just tell you what I told you. That's what I did every single time because we're not a tax. I don't work for them no more. So yeah, they're not a tax company, right? You know, they just provide the features for you to set up all this for your business. So the next thing you're going to do, of course, is your custom domain, right? So you could go to custom domain right here. If you have already a domain that you want to use, just click connect existing and you can enter it and set up your DNS records. Really easy. It should take you less than 5 minutes. This was something like I did like at least 5 to 10 times a week for Shopify store owners. It was set up their domains. Or if you don't have a domain and you want to buy one, you could buy one directly with Shopify. And what I like about this is that it does the work for you, right? So like it will set up and connect it for you, and all you have to do is just make sure that you just renew it every year, right? That's it. So now that we have that set up properly, right, the next thing is to launch the store, right? So to remove the passcode, so let's say we are done, you added the product, you like your theme store, right? You designed everything, you set up the correct taxes, shipping rates, is everything set up. The last thing you want to do is go to online store and then click on let's pretend that this was my theme, right? I want to publish it, right? So as you can see here, it's password protected, right? I can either edit the password or go to preferences and toggle it off right here, right? Of course, it won't let you if you don't select a plan first. So you will need to select a plan to toggle the password off and start selling for your Shopify store. So yeah, highly recommend you do that after you're done everything. So that's pretty much it. That's how you could go ahead and set up a Shopify store in almost less than like 20 minutes, right? So let's pretend that you don't have products to sell now, right? If you don't have products to sell, highly recommend you check out DSER, which is, as you can see here for this other example I have, like I didn't have any products to sell, but now I have products to sell because I have it connected to DSR. So that's a great option if you don't have any products to sell. You want to check it out. I'll have the link in the description below so you guys can check it out. So, and another great tool that I recommended a lot, is called Shopify Spy. It's just a free Chrome extension that you can use to spy on other Shopify store owners, like what apps they're using, what themes they're using as well. Really cool. And if you need a domain, they can use Hostinger as well. That's a great domain platform. And the last but not least is to subscribe to my free email newsletter that I forgot to link there. So I'll have this in the link description below. So it's called the Ecom Edge. I send this once a week to Shopify store owners like yourself, and I provide them with tips on things that they can do to generate more sales for free. So if that's interested you, just enter your email and you'll get this once a week. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one.